Probably enjoying a cup of coffee while you watch us this morning, and you're not alone.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Coffee Roasters. Vic, we're celebrating National Coffee Week.
Oh, yes, we are. In fact, did you know that there are on average about 150 million coffee drinkers, daily coffee drinkers in this country alone? That means a lot of lattes and cappuccinos and mochas and whatever else you want. Or if you're a purist, just a great cup of coffee. And Andy O'Gorman is here with Asheville Coffee Roasters, and you actually are the master roaster here, right?
Roaster here,
Yeah.
yes.
You love what you do.
I love what I do. Passionate about our freshness here. We know our farmers. We have gone through many years of trying to find just the perfect fair trade, organic, and shade-grown, bird-friendly coffees.
There's a lot of categories you just mentioned there, but those are really important because these are farmers whose livelihoods depend on this. And you use a farm in Nicaragua, right?
We do. This is the #1 sustainable farm in Nicaragua, Selva Negra, and it's a medium to dark roast. It has chocolate tones to it. It is delicious.
Now you were talking different tones and stuff. This really is almost an art form. Show us where we start with this, because they don't, contrary to what you may think, they don't come out of the bag looking brown. They come, look at, these are
green beans. These are organic, fair trade, shade grown. They go into a hopper, and we're going to listen for a crack. We're going to listen. We're going to smell with our noses and look with our eyes at the color.
And that's also, we can use that wonderful other sense that we have, that taste when it comes down to being brewed, right?
And aroma.
This is wonderful, and this is just step one, really. And they are brewing and roasting coffee every single day. And coming up in our next half hour, how about we talk about the next step and just some of the things that people may not realize when it comes to really making the most of this beautiful kind of a roast.
I would love to share that with you.
Oh, I can't wait. I am in coffee lovers heaven here this morning. We're going to take a look at what some of the secrets are to really appreciating a really good coffee roast. And we're going to tell you a few more of our guilty pleasures when it comes to our coffee habits. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
A strong cup of coffee will help you wake up today.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Coffee Roasters. So it's National Coffee Week. What are you learning for us, Vic?
Well, actually, I'm learning the proper way to brew a cup of coffee. Now, earlier this morning, we were showing you how they roast it right here on the premises. The raw green coffee beans come in, and then they craft a beautiful type of brew. They do the medium to the dark roasts, and Andy O'Gorman is the one who does the roasting here. But now, you said that the roasting is a very crucial part. But what we do from there is very important too.
The grind is really important. People sometimes tend to think that if they grind it very fine, they'll get more out of it. But no, that makes it bitter.
Oh.
And if we do too coarse, then it becomes watery. So we have to have...
Where's that happy blend level?
The happy level is right in between. And it's going to be a little, just like sand. That's how it should feel.
Oh, it does feel like sand on the beach.
And then you have the perfect
smells so
cup.
good. So that's going to brew a beautiful cup of coffee for us.
That's going to brew the perfect cup.
What else do I need to know? Because there are several steps. We've got how much coffee do I need to put in? Say I want to brew 12 cups.
Well, then you're going to take a full cup and grind like this, and that'll make the perfect cup. 2 tablespoons per 6 ounces. And you can tweak it how you like. It sounds like a lot, but that's the norm.
That's where we want to start and then adjust from there. And when it comes to our coffee pots and our coffee makers and stuff, the type of water is important. Some people are like, oh, I only use bottled water in there and stuff. Is that as important, or is it temperature?
Cold, fresh water.
Cold, fresh water.
It should be cold.
Okay. And then you put it in that lovely machine, and it brews up something that looks a little like this. Look at that.
Liquid gold.
I like the way you think. Now, isn't that a beautiful cup of coffee?
Enjoy it however you like.
Well, speaking of that, Jay and Holly, how do you like your coffee?
I actually like mine iced. I don't really drink hot coffee.
Holly doesn't drink hot coffee. Well, she doesn't know what she's missing, but iced coffee is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Jay?
I like to pour it for somebody else.
Well, Jay, I'll have a cup for you instead then.
Jay likes his coffee with a Coca-Cola.
That's right. With
Coca-Cola.
There you go.
In our next half hour, how about I show you some fun ways to kind of doctor up that cup of coffee? And maybe, Jay, I'll convince you to give it a try.
All right, fair enough.
All right, talk to you in about a half hour. Live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
All right, get this, about a third of all coffee drinkers order it black. But for the other 97.5 million people, that daily cup of joe comes in a specialty drink.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Coffee Roasters. And Vic, this time we are learning the art of the latte, right?
Absolutely. Now, last half hour we were talking about how when you're just brewing a pot of coffee, you want to make sure you get the grind right, kind of a sand-like texture, and then you want to brew it with good, fresh, cold water. But when you want something a little bit more, we're talking lattes, we're talking cappuccinos, we're talking mochas, and we're talking to Greg Bounce, who is also here at Asheville Coffee Roasters, one of, well, let's just say you are an aficionado of this, right?
Mm-hmm. You could say, maybe.
I could say that. So we were talking earlier, though, you really have to know what you're asking for to get the true latte experience, right?
Yes.
What are some things that have to be in place?
The main thing is the espresso, the grind. First, the espresso, which you really want a good espresso, which is a blend of beans.
Not just taking my you know,
Sumatran or just a varietal. Okay, it's not. It's a blend of beans to make the crema of the espresso. That's the sweet part. So that's very important. And then it's the grind, which is a very in a commercial machine, it's very fine, real powdery. But at home, you might want to just kind of adjust it and grind on maybe another type of grinder, like at a store like ours over here, where it's not so fine. But otherwise, your machine might not have the pressure to go through your grinds.
Okay, well, let's talk construction here, because you said that a true latte has to have how many shots of espresso?
Well, we do, everything has a double shot in a 12-ounce cup, so a lot of places might just give you one and then they'll charge you for a second shot. But to really make a good latte, it should be a double shot.
Okay, we're like at 30 seconds here, so
and
fire
I'll just
this
do it
up.
real quick here. And we like to grind it as we use it, so it's not pre-ground in the hopper there. Then we pack it down really tight, as tight as someone can possibly do. And then we put it into the groove, and we draw our shots. And at the same time, you want to be steaming your milk.
Okay.
It should take about 15 seconds to draw your 2 shots. If it's coming out too fast, then you know your coffee is too coarse. If it's too fine, it's going to come out very slow and takes longer than 15 seconds. Then you know it's just not right. You want it to. You can time it about 15 seconds. And since we're in a hurry here,
no, we're going to take a look here. This is the latte here, but Jay, he's actually making one for you to try to convince you to convert to coffee. It's going to be something that has a lot of chocolate, maybe even a little whipped cream to make it more like a dessert. It's called the baby step to enjoying coffee. It's a mocha, and I'll taste it for you and let you know how delicious it is. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to talk about another favorite that Jay might want to try. Is a special roast called the Pit Bull Roast. Yes, it sounds just as fierce but delicious as can be. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Coffee is the #2 commodity in the world, just behind oil. And for millions of people, the day cannot start without a cup or maybe 2.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Coffee Roasters. Victoria, this time we're learning how to find the right brew for our personality, right?
Exactly, because each of us is looking for a little something different from our cup of coffee every day. So we were in the roasting room earlier, and that is where they actually roast all of these wonderful beans and bring us different elements to each of these different types of roasts. In fact, Greg and I were just talking here. Greg is one of the owners here at Asheville Coffee Roasters, and we were talking about how do you figure this out? What's your advice for someone who's looking for the perfect fit when it comes to their cup of coffee?
I think that if someone's looking for maybe something a little milder, or if you like something really bold, I recommend maybe a lighter type roast for something a little milder, maybe smoother coffee. You know, the Jamaicans' coffees, the Konas, they're roasted usually a little lighter because they're known to be a real smooth coffee. But if you want something a little bolder, you might want to try a little darker roast, like your Indonesian coffees are quite, and your African coffees are going to be a little bit bolder, and they're going to be roasted a little bit darker. Okay.
And well, you keep hours like us. You folks are here early, like 3 o'clock in the morning when we're getting up and getting ready to go. What about folks like us who really need that jolt, that wake you up in the morning feel?
I think maybe you'd like to try the Pit Bull on Crack. That's
the what?
The Pit Bull on Crack. That is our brand that we started many years ago, and it's our version of a French roasted coffee. And we tie it in with the when you roast coffee, you listen for the first, second, and third crack of the bean when they're roasting around over the 400-degree mark. So we tied it in, but it's a Jay, it's a great coffee for you, I think, since you like pit bulls. And we do donate a small portion of the sale of Pit Bull on Crack to Pit Bull Rescue.
Oh, that's terrific. But and the big thing is what you said is come in and talk to your local coffee shop folks like you and say, can I try some different things? What do you recommend, right?
Exactly.
And personally, how much of this do you go through?
As far as like going a weekly...
well, let's go, weekly basis for you.
Oh, just for myself?
Yeah.
It would be about a pound a week.
A pound a week?
Yeah, that's pretty much the average for people that come in to our customers that we've been catering to. They do about a pound a week. In fact, that's what you really want to buy. Buy enough coffee that you know is coming from a roaster, and then that way you know it's really fresh. Because after about 10 days, coffee will start to go stale.
And you don't want that. And don't put it in the freezer. That doesn't work. So find yourself a good coffee roaster. Find yourself your favorite coffee roast level, like the Pit Bull on Crack, and get yourself going with a great cup of coffee. It's National Coffee Week, so enjoy. Cheers. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.